So tonight was the beginning of the qualifying matches for the Money in the Bank. Tonight we had two triple threat matches sort of back to back here for qualifications for the Money in the Bank match for both men and the women's. On the men's side, you had Solo Sikoa reignite his push, so to speak. Here he got the win over Big Jim, Jimmy Uso, and Rey Fenix. Speaking of Solo Sikoa, we'll get into Solo Sikoa and the whole Jeff Cobb situation, which he's going by JC Mateo now. But as far as the women's side of the qualifying matches for the Money in the Bank, we had Alexa Bliss against Chelsea Green against Michin. To nobody's surprise, Alexa Bliss ended up winning this match. She's going on to bigger and badder things at the Money in the Bank match. They also kind of teased somewhat a partnership between Alexa and Charlotte. I'm not really sure, if they're going to follow up with this, because last week they had sort of a backstage segment where they alluded to sort of something. You didn't really know what it was. This week, again, it was brought up. Charlotte kind of denied her request, I guess, to team up. We also got Julia. She's going to be switching over to Smackdown. So I guess the whole Roxanne thing, I guess that's kind of abandoned for the time being. So I mentioned Solo Sikoa and Jeff Cobb. They came out here with Jacob Fatu here to kick off the show. Solo Sikoa, he mentioned how Roman Reigns, he lost the title at WrestleMania 40 to Cody Rhodes, and ever since then, Solo Sikoa has been desperate to get the family, surrounded once again with gold. That's why he brought in Jeff Cobb, who, he felt was kind of like an insurance policy to help Jacob Fatu win. Jacob Fatu snatches the microphone from Solo Sikoa, starts cutting, his typical Jacob Fatu energy promo on him, telling him like, yo, I did this with or without you. Solo Sikoa then says that he did all of this, he's doing all of this because he loves Jacob Fatu. And he says, listen, Jacob, you used to tell me that you loved me every time, all the time. That used to be like a given. He said, I need you to tell me that you love me. And Jacob Fatu says it, but you could barely hear him. He mouths it off, but he kind of mumbles it under his breath. He's like, yeah, I love you, Solo. And Solo Sikoa, he's really kind of taken aback because he doesn't know what's going on with Jacob Fatu. And it looks like Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa are gonna, begin to throw down here when LA Knight, his music hits. And LA Knight goes out there and attacks Jeff Cobb. I'm going to call him Jeff Cobb for the time being. I know he's JC, but I feel like Jeff Cobb just kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. Now, one thing I will say is LA Knight, there's this running joke about the bloodline vortex. And LA Knight is definitely a victim of this bloodline vortex because it seems like every week this guy is literally, tied up with some sort of, bloodline business, whether it's Fatu, whether it's Solo, and now whether it's Jeff Cobb. It seems like whatever this guy does, he just can't escape the bloodline. And, we did get the Jeff Cobb debut here against LA Knight with Jeff Cobb, JC, picking up the win in his first match on his first debut match here on Smackdown. We also got what was my favorite thing of the entire night. They had a sit-down interview with R-Truth. Wade Barrett was conducting this interview, and Wade Barrett just asked him, the simplest questions like, why are you defending John Cena? Why are you defending this man who is literally such a piece of trash nowadays? Why are you defending him? John Cena is a piece of trash in everybody's eyes, but R-Truth's. And R-Truth, he says that R-Truth is almost like delusional in a sense because he still believes John Cena is that good guy. He said, whatever happens in this life, the one thing you could depend on is John Cena. He said, what did John Cena say? He said, never give up. And, Wade Barrett, to me, it's so funny that R-Truth is saying that John Cena is this superhero in front of Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett, who obviously knows exactly what John Cena is all about. You know what I mean? With the whole Nexus thing. So Wade Barrett is literally the last person you should be telling all this shit to. But R-Truth says that he spoke to Nick Aldis, and this match is going to be taking place at Saturday night's main event. And he kind of got a little serious here at the end of the interview. He said that, John Cena, this isn't the John Cena who I know. He said the John Cena he knows wouldn't try to ruin wrestling. He said that at Saturday night's main event, he's going to knock some sense back into John Cena. Now, could you imagine that R-Truth is the man who brings back John Cena, brings him back to the good side. Like, that would be fucking bananas. But I think, literally, I think what you're gonna see is the destruction of R-Truth at Saturday night's main event. I think that's probably what you're gonna end up seeing. But this was probably my favorite thing on the entire night. R-Truth, his promo here. And we also got the confirmation of Damian Priest against Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match at Saturday night's main event. They're kind of building this as the last sort of match between these two guys, because if you recall, they had their first match at WrestleMania, which Drew won that match, and obviously they had their issues at the Backlash Fatal 4-Way. So now they're kind of promoting this as the last match between these two guys. I really like the promo that McIntyre cut afterwards, essentially, accepting Priest's request for this match. I do believe, however, Priest is probably going to get the win here, considering he's literally lost every single outing that these two guys have had. Obviously, these two guys have their history going back a year ago, and I do believe that you'll probably end up seeing Priest win that match against Drew McIntyre. What do we do with Drew McIntyre afterwards? Maybe Cody Rhodes. Maybe by that time, Cody Rhodes makes his return back to Smackdown. And we're going to end off here with the main event match, that being Nia Jax against Tiffany Stratton. And what was actually a very good match between these two women, especially the end here. We got to the end. Naomi comes out here with a steel chair, threatening to, I guess, take out both women, take out Tiffany, whoever she's gunning for at this point. And Jade Cargill obviously comes out here, and she ends off chasing Naomi through the crowd. Nia Jax here got a really close near fall when she hit the Annihilator on Tiffany. Tiffany, however, grabbed the rope at the last possible second. That was a great sort of false finish here. Nia Jax attempts to walk off with the title. She grabs the chair. She brings it into the ring. Tiffany ends up kicking her in the face with the chair. Then delivers the moonsault from the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Tiffany is still the women's champion, and I kind of thought they were going to do this match at Saturday night's main event. I kind of figured they were going to save it for then, but very good match here to close off SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton still the women's champion, and my guess is as good as yours as far as who they end up pairing Tiffany with. I would assume probably somebody like a Naomi, maybe a Julia, who knows. But let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know your thoughts and your reactions to everything that we saw here tonight on SmackDown. And until next time, I will see all of you on the next one.